Shifts could be subtle. A missed bus, a surprise box to unpack, Chinese takeout for dinner instead of leftovers. However, some shifts rioted, tearing a life asunder in a breath. The average teenager could be melodramatic about it. Lia didn't have that luxury. Except for when it came to this. Papers covered in chicken scratch handwriting were spread on the patio table with Lia's journal. It sat open before her grandfather, his eyes darting across the page, back and forth. She tried to count, to gauge where he was in her story. That dreaded red pen was poised over the paper, a knife already dripping with her heart's blood. Melodramatic, but writing was the exception, the only time she could afford it. Funny how it had only taken a week to develop this routine. It was the first thing Lia treasured since moving to Seattle. Not the bigger bedroom, not the proximity to a forested park, but being walking distance from him instead of thousands of miles away. Even with the writing critiques, and even now when it doubled as keeping an eye on him, which her mom liked to remind her to do. Not that Lia needed reminding. But each text asking how he was doing today, if he seemed present, made Lia's escape into the pages harder. After years of throwing herself into fiction, reality was demanding to be seen. She'd rather not when this was all she allowed herself to begin with.
Honestly, Aurelia, you've got to give this captain more pizzazz.
Her grandfather waved his wrinkled hands in encouragement, dropping the pen as he finally looked up at her. Sunlight caught the stubborn streaks of red in his silver hair. Lia fought a smile. He was the only one who could get away with her full name. Papa privileges. A villain needs pizzazz?
He's a captain turned pirate.
His boisterous tone rose.
You can't just make him evil for evil's sake.
Aren't villains supposed to be evil? Lia asked. Papa peered over his tortoiseshell glasses, but a grin tugged at his mouth.
You read plenty. Which villains do you find most compelling? The ones that are evil just because, or the ones that do evil acts with a sympathetic motive?
Easy for him to say. Old Man was retired, but to the world he was still Julian Corvine, author of the Floating Kingdom series, starring Kayce Weatherstone, which, to be fair, had been her idea. Kayce, her childhood imaginary friend, who, now age 18, was stuck with a thieving member of his court in her own stories. She chewed on her pencil, staring at her journal.